hear me? Fine, a little bit low.
Yes, I can also
Uh,
hear you. I have also started the
can you hear
recording.
me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, speak a little bit louder now. Okay, so, all right. So anyway, so for 3.3.15, the last one there is anadjatane lut. So before bringing any pratyaya, you should know in what meaning the pratyaya is coming. It's very important because sometimes we just engrossed in deriving the forms and forget about what meaning the pratyaya is coming in. So bhavishyati anadyathane lut. So when the speaker wants to express the future tense, which is not of today, not recent, means remote future tense, then the lut is used. That is the meaning. So that allows us to take the bhu plus lut. It's always the first step in any tinganta prakriya. Always start with the dhatu and lakara. And before that, as I said, check in which mean lakara is coming, bring that in, and then the next step is to remove the it letters. In this case, halantyam upadesh ajunanasaka it 132, 133, 133, 132. Those sutras should now be readily accessible to all of you. 132 to 138, because you cannot unpackage any. If you have a computer program, it'll immediately kick that routine. It'll immediately run the routine. If any technical term comes, immediately before anything is done, it shoots this subroutine 132 to 138, and that unpackages it, removes up the it letters, and also makes a note of what the instructions are. So in our case, the instruction with the t as an it, as you mentioned, one more time to refresh your memory, the moment you see that t as an it in the lakaraha, there are some rules in 3.4 which tells you what to do when the lakara is t as an it, because it says tita atmanipadanam tere and thasas se. These two sutras should be always kind of kept ready and applied whenever the lakara has t as an it, and that's coming in 3.4, tita atmanipadanam tere and the thasas se. So because this lasya dikara starts from 3477, tiptasji is 3478, and immediately 3479 says tita atmanipadanam ter e and thasas se. So those 9 endings which you have in atmanipadam, the ta atam ja, thas atam dham, am id vahi mahing. Out of that, the thas becomes se immediately, if the lakara is t as an it. And which are those? Lut, lit, lut, lut, and lot. So in these 5. Okay? And of course there may be some exceptions, but as a general rule, this is what happens. And then the 3477 says remaining places, the t bhagaha, you make into a. The remaining 8 places, you either take the t bhaga and make it into a. So it becomes te, ate, dve. We already got the se, then ate, I'm sorry, the te, the ate, and the ja becomes joanta, and becomes ante, or might become ate also by some exceptions. And then you get the se, ate, dve, and then e, vahe, mahe. So anyway, this is what the t as an it in the lakara does. It immediately brings in the 3479, 3480. So maybe let's put that in the document maybe. So the t as an it, the t as a marker in the lakaraha. We've seen this many times before, but it's good to know what it does. Leads to 3479, 3480. Okay, so anyway, that's only the Atmanipadam. Right now we're doing Parasnipadam, so we don't have to worry about that right now. So that we did that, and then the third step should always be the Lasya, Tiptasji, because that's a Nitya Karyam. So 3478 should be applied immediately, depending on what the Vivaksha of the speaker is. Oh, what happened to my document? Something's happened to my document. Okay. Let me see. I guess I cannot save my changes, what it's telling me.
Yeah, I think.
Kalpeji, I got log back.
Yeah, I think you might have to, maybe you must have logged in as somebody else or something like that, probably.
Okay, let me try something. Let me get back in. Okay, let me get back in. Let me try this. Okay, Wednesday class. Let me see. This might work. Luckily, we have only one line there, so I can go back to that. Okay, I guess I should put the line again. Okay, so the J as a marker. 3479, 3480. Okay, so
Satish, can you please save that file again just once before
yeah,
you
let's
start?
try to save it. Yeah, let's try to save. Let's hope make sure it saves. Yeah, I just saved it this time. I think we're
Okay,
okay.
thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so we start with bhu plus la, and then the la becomes tip ji, because the 3, 4, 17, 8 which you're applying is nitya karyam. Nothing really can stop that. So these are things which you should do first before doing anything else. So we had bhu plus tip. And then what happened was that we got, in this case, since we have the lut lakaraha, we use the sutram which says that shatasi lutoho. Shatasi lutoho. So the moment you have a lut lakara, the pratyaya tas comes in between. And normally you have kartari shap. Kartari shap is a default for everything. But that is, pratyaya sarvadhatuke, you get kartari shap. But this Shatasi Luto is saying that don't, if you have the Lut Lakara, put the Tas Pratyaya in there. So that was 3133. So now we made, the beauty of this Lakara Prakriya is it just goes like mathematics, just like algebra. So it's very nice, very, very easy in the sense that there is no like gray area that much. It goes like a computer program, it just runs and kicks out the forms. And for the most part, barring Vedic literature, these forms are followed in practice. So very useful to know this prakriya. Even if you don't know all the rules, if you know enough, you can start making some educated guesses very fast, very fast. And then of course, if you can guess the dhatu, if you can guess the lakara, if you can, then you can just open up a book and look it up in a couple of minutes. So you don't have to worry too much. Also, one more thing, those of you who have this book, which is, the Madhaviya Dhatu Vritti, very excellent book. In the beginning of the book, he goes through and covers the Lakara Prakriya for each Lakara, very beautifully done. So this particular one starts on page 16, and it goes over only one page. And then he does the Lut Lakara also starts on page 17, and goes, only half a page he goes. Very beautifully done. Because the reason I like to give these books is that because they are authority in this language. So what Madhava says is kind of an authority. Siddhanta Kaumudi also, of course, you can look at. But I like this one. So this is the one I'm looking at, is the Madhaviya Dhatu Vritti by Ramlal Kapoor Trust. Very well edited book. So page 16, 17, if you have, within a page and a half, you can, go through all the rules for the Lut and Lut Lakara. So, okay. So we use Shatasi Lurto, and it's a dual form, it is Yathasankham. So if you have the Rit or the Rung, then you put Sya in between there. If you have Lut, then you put Tas. So then we got the Bhu, Tas, and we had Ti. Now what happened at this point was there is a sutram which replaces the Prathama Purusha Pratyayas are replaced by Da, Rau, Rasaha. Da, Rau, and Ras when you have the Lut Lakaraha. That is for both Atmanepadam and Parasmanepadam. So Da, Rau, Rasaha. So as I said, this bit of a suspicious sutram that one is. This Lut Lakara might have come a little bit later. So anyway, it doesn't matter. Now it is here. So 2485 Lutaha Prathamasya Da, Rau, Rasaha. So the tip tasji, the tip becomes da, the tas becomes rau, and the ji becomes ras. And similarly, atmanepadam, the ta, atam, ja also become, da, rau, and ras. So using 2485, we did this all last time. Just want to catch up from there. So we had bhu, tas plus da. Now at this point, the tas pratyaya is a pratyaya which is arja dhatukam because ting shit sarva dhatukam, arja dhatukam sheshaha, and dhatu iti vihitasya. So any pratyaya which is prescribed after a dhatu. Dhatu means what? 347 and 317 and 3122 onwards to the end of 3.4. That is all the dhatoho adhikara. Dhatoho adhikara. So any pratyaya which is prescribed in that region, that falls into one of the two baskets, either sarva dhatukam or arja dhatukam. So you can see this 317 has a dhatoho in that doesn't run anuvritti anywhere, and the 3122 starts a new dhatoho that's picked up by 3191. So basically 3122 to end of 31. All these pratyayas, they fall into one of two baskets, either ting shit sarva dhatukam or arja dhatukam sheshaha. Now the tas pratyaya came in 3133. So it is in the dhatu adhikara. It is not ting or talivesha is in it. It's going to be arja dhatukam. And then once the moment you have that, you will check if it's a valadi arja dhatukam, which definitely is. So that then leads us to 7235. Arja dhatukasya id valadehe. So this can take an idagamaha if the dhatu allows it. So then we have, of course, we spent the last class or two deciding which dhatus are, so-called set dhatus, which are anit dhatus. And there we looked at the Panini's main sutram is 7.2.10, which tells us the ekash upadesha anudattat in nishedha. So 7.2.10 only does a in nishedha. So as a default, every dhatu is set. Only if it is stopped by some sutram, then only idagama does not come. Okay, that's what Panini says. But that would require us to memorize the dhatu patha either with the footnotes or with the swaras. And for those of us who have not done that, which includes most of us, we need a shortcut. So we saw the shortcut, the shortcut was done in the manner that most halanta dhatus are set dhatus. And the exceptions are about 100 odd dhatus, about 103 roughly, which are anit, and they are listed out in the alphabetical order. And in the Ajanta is a reverse situation. Most of them are anit dhatus, some of them are set, and the sets are listed out. They're basically those ending in long u or long ru and 12 other dhatus. Now we have the dhatus. So all this comes in the Vyakhyanam on 7 to 10. Let's look at our Ashtadhyayi. Let me see. It's the dhatu part. Okay, give me 1 second. Where is my Ashtadhyayi? I thought I had it. No. I guess I'll open it up again. I had the okay here. Here it is. Okay. So 7 to 10 is the sutram for that, and that is where they list out all these things. And the best list is in Siddhanta Kaumudi, even though Kashika also gives in different manner. But the Siddhanta Kaumudi one is the one that you want to try to paste on your wall. This is the one to be pasted on your wall. You definitely want this available at all times, or in dictionary or somewhere you want to keep it handy all the time. So what we need right now is that in Ajanta Dhatu, it says Udru Dantaihi, Yauti, Ru, Kshnu, etc. and Vina Ekachaha Ajanteshu Nihataha Smrutaha. This Nihataha means basically they are the Anit Dhatavaha. So Nihata means they are the Anudatta Swara. So those are going to be Anit. So barring these, remaining are Anit. But we have Dhatu Bhu, which is ending in long U. It's going to be a set Dhatu. And so therefore we can now bring in the Idagama for the Pratyaya Tas. Again, the Idagama comes to the Pratyaya, not to the Dhatu. The Dhatu only either allows it or stops it. So then we get the Bhu plus Itas plus, in the Pratyaya Da, the Chutu removes the it letter. Again, one more time. Anytime you have any technical term, first thing you want to do is go to 132 to 138, remove the it letters, and see what instructions they're passing on to you. That's the first thing. So the pratyaya da, you had the sutram Q2. So pratyayadi cha varga ta varga varnaha it syat. So that is the it letter is da, so it leaves only a. So maybe I'll put this back. I did this all last time, but I will put it back again. Let's pick up from here. We have bhu plus itas. We already did the idagama, and then we have the pratyaya da anubandha lope a. So we actually had da to begin with, removed the it letter and made it a. Okay, now in the meanwhile what's going to happen to the bhu is that because the pratyaya itas is a pratyaya which is ardhadhatukam, you have to invoke 7384 sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka yoho, sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka yoho. These two rules, the 73, 84, 86, are always going to come whenever you have any pratyaya which is either sarvadhatukam or ardhadhatukam. Now one quick question here is that, does that include all pratyayas? No, because I already mentioned before is that the sarvadhatukam, ardhadhatukam sanya only is applicable if the pratyaya is being prescribed after a dhatu, and that is only 317 and 3122 to end of third adhyaya. The remaining pratyayas, including all tadhitas, all three pratyayas in the 4th chapter or in the 5th chapter, they are neither sarvadhatukam nor ardhadhatukam. Also in in the third adhyaya also, with those 318 to 3121, mainly which are namadhatus. Those namadhatu pratyaya, they are neither sarvadhatukam nor ardhadhatukam. So they cannot do as a default any guna. So they cannot do any of that thing. So 7-3, otherwise you're wondering why does Panini have to say sarvadhatuka, ardhadhatuka yoho? Just say pratyaya pare. No, because not all of them are going to be sarvadhatukam or ardhadhatukam. So 7-3, 84, 86, please keep in mind the moment you bring any pratyaya which is sarvadhatukam or ardhadhatukam, always try to apply 7-3, 84 or 86 as the case may be. 7-3, 84 will do the guna of the ending ach. 7-3, 86 will do the guna of the penultimate short, penultimate laghu I should say. Not short but laghu. So in our case we have the dhatu bhu. So we are going to do the guna of the u, again adeng gunaha, use sthaniyantara tamaha, and we can bring. I like to repeat all these sutras many times. So you can, even though they are basic for you now, most of you this is very easy for you, but still good to repeat it. So you have to look at adeng gunaha, which is one, because you want to take the closest guna letter. So the u is there, and we have to adeng gunaha. So guna letters are only the short a and the ing, which is a and o. So you have to take only the o has the the labial component, oshcha. So that wins the battle, and we get the o. So bhu becomes bo. Anyway, so here it is 7-3-84, sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka yoho. So we did that, and then we got, and then after that, of course, the echo yavayava sandhi, I think all of you know. So I won't go in detail of that. That comes right after the iko and achi. So echo yavayavaha achi pare. That's a varna sambandhi niyamaha. So it is doesn't require any pratyaya or anything. It depends on the letters only. So we can do that. So then after doing that, we got the bhav. So we have bhav, and then we have the itas, and then we have ah. The last thing we looked at last time was what does does and it do? And I'm sorry for the pun. What does the do? What the does is that there is a sutram in the bhasya adhikara which says tehe. That sutram also is a little bit tricky because you have two sutras called tehe tehe in the same adhikara bhasya. A little bit nasty thing which Panini likes to do, and a very nasty thing. Put the same sutram, the same wording, and completely different meanings. And sometimes they come, there are many such in the Ashtadhyayi, and they come in different places. I and they like the sutra nishtha comes in two places. So this sutram, really messes you up sometimes. But okay, so bhasya adhikara sutram tehe, the first tehe sutram, which is 64143, says that diti pratyaya pare. So if the pratyaya has does in it, then angasya ti bhagasya lopasya. The ti bhaga takes lopa. But there's a condition on that. This is really only in the bhasya adhikara. The bhasanya comes from where? From yachibham. 61418, yachibham. Normally that requires swadishva sarvanamasthane. Swadishva sarvanamasthane. We got tongue twister this sutram. Swadishva sarvanamasthane. So swadishu. The swadishu pratyayas only start from 412. What they call now is nominal affixes. So let's go to 1418. And there starts the yachibham is defined over there. Yachibham. Anuvritti from the prior sutram comes swadishu asarvanamasthane. The swadishu starts from 412 to end of the 5th adhyaya. We are right now in the 3rd adhyaya. The pratyaya this pratyaya da which we bought, which was brought in as an adeshaha for the pratyaya tip. And tip was prescribed in 3rd adhyaya. This is not a swadi pratyaya. So we don't have a bhasanya. The angam, which is the bhavitas, does not have the bhasanya. That is the pratyaya tip was brought from 3478. It is not in the swadishu adhikaraha. It cannot give a bhasanya to the angam. The bhasanya is for the angam, the base gets the bhasanya. But the pratyaya has to be one of the swadi pratyayas. And he has to begin with a yakara or an ach. That we do have. The da is after anubandha lopa, it is a. So it is ajadi pratyaya. But it is not a swadi. The swadi starts from 412. The su of just amount sutram is 412. Okay, but then as I said, mentioned last time is that, but then, so ditkaranam vyartham syat. The ditkaranam vyartham syat. The does and it will have no use. It will have no use. So this is a very tricky thing, important thing, is that every it has a prayojanam. Every it has a prayojanam. Sometimes you may have to violate some condition like we are doing right now. We don't have a bhasanya. But still, because the do is put as an it by Panini, he must have something in mind. Otherwise, there's no point putting it. It should be removed. So from that we infer, and there's only one thing which the does and it can really do, and this is the T lopa in this case. So then we say, okay, vachana samarthya, because the does and it has been put by Panini, we can remove the T bhagaha, even though the bhasanya is not there. And again, all these things, the vyakhyanam will help us, because the commentary, they will always define. So our job is easy. We can just confirm this from the vyakhyanam. We saw it last time. There was a statement in the 64143. Actually, sometimes, once in a while, if there is no prayojanam, the it sanya itself is stopped. That also happens once in a rare while. If you cannot find any use for that as an it sanya is stopped for that. So that is also something to keep.
Muted.
The moment you have an it, you should ask, what is the prayojanam for that it? It may be ucharanartham, which if it can be in vowel for ucharanartham. Okay, so here we have in the Tehe Sutram, if you look at the Vyakhyanam here, somewhere you will see this is that, where is the Kashika? Either Vyakhyanam, here to go either Kashika or you have to go to Siddhanta Kaumudi. And here it says, in Kashika says, Diti abhasyapi anubandha karana samrthyat ti lopo bhavati. So Diti, when a pratyaya does and it follows, which is what we have. Pratyaya da is what we have. Abhasya api, abhasya angasya api. So we have no bhasanya, because the da pratyaya is coming in place of tip, so it is not a swadi pratyaya. But abhasya api anubandha karana samarthyat. There's a lot of typos in this text, but it should be samarthyat. Anubandha karana samarthyat. Ti lopa bhavati. So the fact that da was made as an it, we can do the ti lopaha. Ti lopa is, what is ti bhagaha? Ti bhagaha is defined in the first adhyaya, ashtadhyayi, achavantyadi ti. Achavantyadi ti. So in whatever term that you have in question, you take the last ach and go to the end of the term. that entire thing is called a T bhagaha, acho antyadi T. So in this case we have the anga is bhavitas. So bhavitas, the last ach in the term bhavitas is the a. We start from the a and go to the end, and we get the T bhaga is as. The as is the T bhagaha, and that is what's going to be removed. So acho antyadi T, acho antyadi T. Because the number for that, that's in the first adhyaya, acho antyadi T. The number for that is acho antyadi T is number 1164. So 1164, you got the T bhagaha, and then you remove from 61143 extension, we did the lopaha. So this is where we were last time. Okay, so this is just catching up. So we apply 61143 with the extension. So even though the base does not have bhasanya, does not have the bhasanya, and then the definition of the T bhagaha is, as we already saw, that is the and the T is defined in I think 1164 and 1164, and okay. So that in this case the T is so from now on what we can do is that we can keep this the common work. The common works. This is what you do. The first time you go through all the steps and you get all the details, and then from next step onwards you can, even though you should go through all the steps, we can skip them. So we have a, now what are the common work over here? What all is common? See, next when we take the next place, which is the Dviva. Oh, Indu has a question. Okay, thank you. Indu, let me talk to Indu. Indu has a question. Yes, Indu. Her mic is not working again, I guess. Is your mic working, Indu?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, I think 64143.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes, 6 is Basya Dikara. I put 6-1 by mistake. Thank you, Indu. Yes, 6-4. So, Pramadha Kshamyatam. Excuse my errors. So 6-4. If you see any typos, please remind me, okay? Thank you. Yes, 64143. Okay, so now when you look at the Dvivachanam, we're going to have the same steps. We bring in the who plus the lut, anadhyatane lut, and do the halantyam, upadeshajana nasika it, lasya, then the pratyaya becomes tas, and then again we're going to bring the syatasi lutoho, then bring the idagamaha. Nothing is going to change. So the bhu plus the itas, then you're going to do the sarvadhatika, adhadhatika yoho gunaha. So, and then echo yavayavasya. So the bhavitas is common work, okay? That bhavitas is not going to change now, because no matter what's coming after that, that tas is going to, the moment you have lut, you're going to get tas. The tas is going to get the idagama because dhatu bhu is allowing that. It's going to do the gunaha, you're going to have echo yavayavasandhi. So even though we should not do it like that, but because you have to do it in the proper way, to bring the lakara, do the lasya, then bring the tas, then do the gunaha, then do Echayava Sandhi and all that. But we can keep bhavitas as common work, okay? Samanya karyam. So the first time we did it all detailed. Now let us just start from bhavitas only, because that's not going to change. All those steps are common. This is a good thing about doing the Paninian way is that you get great economy because you don't have to memorize this anymore. So the moment you did that, so this one is common now, so bhavitas. Only thing that happens here is that you get the pratyaya tas now. And because again the same sutram dara rasaha, so by same sutram 2485 we had da rau rasaha. So the tas will change to rau, da rau rasaha. So and then we had to do only one more step now, and that is to changes to rau, da rau rasaha, because the yatha sankhya madhya adesha was done. So it changes to rau. So bhavita plus rau, We only one sutra we need, which is richa. The richa is the 7451. So 7451 says when you have a radha pratyaya pare, when you have a pratyaya which is the rephadi pratyaya pare, you know, sakarantasya angasya lopasyat. Again, don't take these vrittis as pramanam. I'm just making them up as I go. But you should look at the, as I said, any vritti, always go to either Kashika or Siddhanta Kaumudi. These are two places. The moment you want to say vritti means you have to go to the Kashika or Siddhanta Kaumudi. Okay? So 7-4, and the vrittis are worth memorizing. If you can memorize some vrittis, it is a good thing. Good thing. If you have time, you memorize some vrittis. So first you memorize sutram, and then the vritti if you can. 7-4-51. See, as I mentioned to you, most of these scholars, they had these vrittis memorized, you know. So, okay, rephado pratyaya parataha, tasastyoho. I see I made a wrong statement because look at the vritti. Only tasastyoho, because the prior sutram has tasastyo lopa. So that the prior sutram 7-4-51 talks about the dhatu, the pratyaya tas and the dhatu as. So I said sakaranta sangha, that's wrong. Only for tas and the asti, dhatu as, only for these two. So now you know why this is a very similarity between this prakriya of the lut and the dhatu as lat lakara. Because these two sutras, actually three sutras, they apply equally to the dhatu as and the pratyaya tas. Because 7-4-50, we had the tasastyor lopaha, the tas and asti. This is a dual form, tasastyoho, shashti dvivachanam. Again, Panini refers to the dhatu as by using the form asti. So asti doesn't mean anything with the lat lakara, it is just a dhatu nirdesha, what Panini calls a dhatu nirdesha. So asti means the dhatu as. So tasastyo lopaha 7-4-50, but that is only when you have a sakaradi pratyaya pare. And this one Richa says that when you have a rephado pratyaya pare, tasastyor lopaha, it comes down. So again, alontyasya. Actually, I think anuvritti sa is coming down. The sakara of tas and asti and dhatu as. So sakarasya lopa bhavati. So that's what we have. When you have the rav and the ras, which is the prathama purushaha dvivachanam or bahuvachanam, you're going to get the richa sutram, richa. Okay, so as simple as that. So we apply 7-4-51 and remove that. So let me put that down here. So we get the bhavitarav. Bhavitarav is bhavitarav. I'm sorry, bhavitarav, because richa sutram, richa bhavitarav. Okay, so make this into rav, and then we will remove the sakara of tas by richa. Okay, so then remove the sa of the bhavitas by 7-4-51. Okay, so that gets us the next form, and the same thing in the when we do the G, there's all the same steps. Instead of bhavitas, when we do the bahuvachanam, instead of the tas we get G, and again the da. Apply 2-4-8. So start with bhavitas. Let me put down here. Let's start with bhavitas plus G. And it also highlights one more fact, is that before you start doing any jo antaha and this and that, you check if the entire G is going to be replaced. If the entire G is going to be replaced, then don't go to jo antaha and this and that. So keep it as G. And before removing any ith letter, sometimes you have to check if the full pratyaya is going to be replaced by something else. Then don't have to remove the ith letters. You can leave them as they are. So this is the bahuvachanam, bhavitas plus G. And then again, same thing, by 2-4-85, the G will change to ras, da, rau, rasaha. So I'll put that over here. So this changes to ras. And once you have that, again use richa to remove the sakaraha, becomes bhavitaraha. So bhavita, bhavitaro, bhavitaraha. In Bhagavad Gita, you only have the singular form. Actually, we don't have the bhavitaro, bhavitaraha in the Bhagavad Gita. We have only the form bhavita. We also the form gantasi. We also have the form bhavita, by the way, in the Devi Mahatmyam, the very last chapter, when you get the Varapradanam for the Raja, he becomes the Manu, so bhavita, that form bhavita comes there also. Okay, so anyway, so we apply the same sutram richa and make it the bhavitaraha, so nothing form. So I think now we can go, so we have the basic, once we have the basic angam which is form, which is bhavitas, I think we need only one more sutram and we should be all done now. So bhavitaraha. Of course, bhavitaraha means you know that the sasajusho ruho, karavasana visarjani. I think I'm assuming now that you know those two sutram, the visarga rules, you know that bhavitaraha. The next form we'll do bhavitas plus sip. Bhavitas plus sip, anubandha lope, halantyam, anubandha lope, you get bhavitas si. So far, again, we should not be doing it like that so fast, but for the sake of time, we can do it now because we already did the long way one time. But don't take these shortcuts unless you already done it one time, at least the long way, because these shortcuts get us into trouble sometimes. Okay, so bhavitas plus sip, and this is 7450, the sutram which you just saw. The richa was getting the anuvritti from 7450 was coming into richa. So this down is 7450 has to be used to remove this sakaraha. Tasastyor lopaha, tasastyor lopaha, tasastyor lopaha, tasastyor lopaha. Repeat the sutram in your mind many times, as many times as you can. They have the power to give you the knowledge of Vyakaranam. They really do. So, tasastyor lopaha. So, it's also a good feeling because the same sutram was repeated 2000 years ago, repeating today also. Tasastyor lopaha. So, tas and asti, tas and the dhatu, as, which is followed by a pratyaya which is sakaradi. Again, always check the conditions. So, we have the pratyaya sip which is following, which is beginning with a sa. And we do have the pratyaya tas behind it. And we do have the sakara of tas. So, vidyamanaha sakaraha. So, tasya lopasya. So, that becomes lopaha, become bhavitasi. Comes in the Gita, gantasi. Anybody, where is that form? I think this you should know. Gantasi form in Gita, come on. Which adhyaya? Roughly what shlokaha? Indu, Usha, you should know that answer, I think. No. Okay, it's coming second adhyaya. Tada gantasi nirvedam shotavyasya shrutasya cha shruti vipratipannata yada sthasyati nischala samadhavachala buddhistada yogam avapsyasi. So this will be in Gita in second adhyaya. Roughly about 55-ish, about 50. Gantasi, the form gantasi is used in the Gita. Gantasi means you will go in the future. Tada gantasi nirvedam. So you will become kind of indifferent. You will go to indifference. In Sanskritam we have used these terms when somebody goes to a particular state. So we don't say that in English like that, but in this is tada gantasi nirvedam. So, tam gantasi. Hey Arjuna, tam gantasi. I'm around 50-ish because it's right before the Sthitaprajñasya bhasha. It's two sutras before that. Okay, here is come the Sthitaprajñasya bhasha. It will be two shlokas before that. So it's going to be 52. Here this form gantasi. Tada gantasi nirvedam. The dhatu is gam. Same thing, the same prakriya. See, dhatu gam is an anit dhatu. You notice that? The form gantasi. The dhatu gam is an anit dhatu because manteshu, yama nama gama rama, whatever, I made the wrong order, chatvaraha. There are only 4 dhatus in the manteshu which are anit. And they are the gama, nama, yama, rama. So these are the 4. And this was one of them. That's why this form gantasi, there was no idagamaha. You only got the Nashapadantasya jali anuswaraha, anuswarasya parasavaranaha. Anyway, but at least the form is the same, the tasi form, gantasi. The moment you see that, you should apply sutram tasastyor lopaha. Tasastyor lopaha. So that is what. Oh yes, thank you. Tangaviliji had the answer. Thank you, Tangaviliji. Yes. 52nd shloka. Yes. Tadagantasi nirvedam. Thank you. Okay, so that gives the form. So I think that's all we need now. Now we can finish up the form because next few rules. So use 627,450, and then we get the form bhavitasi, and that's it. So rest of it we just can crank it out. We don't need to memorize anything. This is a good thing. If you know these some basic rules, you can now start just generating the form. Okay, what will be the next form? Will be just bhavitas plus we'll get the pratyaya. So what do we have? Sip thas tha. So bhavitas thas. So bhavitas tha. Only rutta visargaha. Only sandhi rules. Nothing more. So nothing more to join. So just take this, keep this angam bhavitas, and just keep on adding the pratyayas now. So you had. So this was second person singular, the sip, and then you get second person dual. We have to make it bhavitas plus thas. I'm sorry. So there's no rule to apply here, Of course, you cannot apply sasajusho rule for the tas because it has to be padanta sakara. See, now you know why the sasajusho rule requires padanta sakara. Otherwise, this also will start becoming ru and all that. We don't want that. So anyway, bhavitas thaha. And this next thing also same thing, bhavitas tha. So nothing special in these two forms. The second person dual, second person plural. So this is second person dual, and second person plural very similar. There's no new rule. Just the angam bhavitas, and you bring in the pratyaya tha, and that's it. There's nothing more to do. Second person plural, you bhavitas tha. Even the next form, which is the bhavitas mi, there also there is nothing special. Bhavitas mi, bhavitas vaha, bhavitas maha. So nothing special. Okay, let's quickly recap what rules we require over here. Okay, so keep this handy when you want to do any lut prakriya. The first one we saw is 3315, anadyatane lut. Okay, so that's see, one thing we should do is always look at the domain of each rule. Look at the domain of each rule. Because rules like, the sarvadhatuka, ardhatuka yoho, the lasya, tiptasji, those are all, they have a much larger domain. Those are going to be repeated 100,000 times. We don't need to repeat those again. Let's look at only the ones which are specific to the lut prakriya. Let's look at only those ones. Maybe I can highlight those over here. Okay, the 7450 was one of them. Because why was it special? Because it says tasastyor lopaha. Only for tas and the dhatu as. It's clearly specific for tas. So we need that one. Okay, and then we need 7451 richa. Same thing. It was only for the tas and the dhatu as. So also the 2485 also was only for the lutaha prathamasya dara rasaha. Only for the lut. So 2485 was only for lut. So that also we want to highlight that. And then the other thing was the what else do we need to highlight here? I think that's it, because we got the dara rasaha. So really only 3 rules, that we need. So this is the specialty of Panish. With only 3 rules, you can now generate all the 9 forms by just these 3 rules. So that's the beauty of Panish. So remember these 3 rules: lutas pathamasya dara rasaha, tasastyor lopaha, and richa. That's it. If you know these 3 rules, of course the idagama is again a bigger domain. That is not only for lut. So these are specific for the lut lakara. Okay, let's go to the atmane padam. Atmane padam, which is he has taken the dhatu shing shayane. Shing is to sleep. She also has some special rules. We will just quickly mention them. She has 2 special rules which don't apply to us right now. But the moment you see the dhatu shing, you have to remember these 2 special rules. Again, they're not applicable to us right now, but I just want to mention them to you because they're good to kind of keep an eye on these 2, Because which are those 2 rules specifically for dhatu shing? And the one is the joantaha, which we do all the time. That one gets the rut agamaha, the dhatu is shing. So this joantaha, it becomes, if you look at the lat lakaraha, third person plural form, you take dhatu shi, first of all, dhatu shi is second gana dhatu. The second gana, the sup takes a look, because adipravritibhya shapaha. Adipravritibhya shapaha. So the moment you have second gana dhatu, the shap takes a look. In our case right now, the shap is not going to come at all. Because why is that? Because the tas is going to overrule the shap. The pratyaya tas, which is vashyatasi lurtoho, is going to overrule the shap. So we will not get the shap at all. But if we had the shap, then we would have to do the lopaha by adipravritibhya shapaha. So when the second gana dhatus, adadi dhatus, then in that case the shap is taken a look. You cannot do any angakaryam also, because nalumata angasya. Nalumata angasya, when you do the look, shlu and lup, the pratyaya cannot do any angakaryam. Okay, so that we have had the, okay, let me quickly do this. Because adipravritibhya shapa is 2472. So very quickly, even though that's not today's topic, if you want to do the where's my document now? Okay, here it is. Okay, so if you take the dhatu shi and skipping some steps, if you have the if you have shi plus the lat lakaraha, you bring in the becomes g. If you look at the third person plural form, and you had the kartari shap adipravritibhya shapaha, shap look. So 2472 removes the shap by look elision. So then what happens is that the by the look elision, then normally you would do the joantaha, that the ja becomes ant, becomes anti, which you all know, like bhavanti, gachanti and all that. Apavada for that is that atmanipadeshu anataha. Atmanipadeshu anataha. So what that says is that if you have in the atmanipadam, which is this dhatu, I'm sorry, not ji, but ja, ta atam ja. This dhatu is atmanipadi dhatu, not ji. You have to use the pratyaya ja, because atmanipadi dhatu. So ta atam ja. Okay, so normally what you would have had is that you would have jo antaha, and apavada is that atmanipadeshwanataha. So if you have atmanipadi pratyaya, and then you have a angam ending not in the short a. So basically not the 1, 4, 6, 10 ganas, other ganas. Instead of getting joantaha, you get the at pratyaya, because adabhyasta joantaha. Let me tell quickly, is that normally the ja becomes ant, but if you have in the atmanipadam, if you have an angam which is not ending in short a, which is basically excludes the 1, 4, 6, 10 ganas, in the other ganas, then what happens is that instead of become anta, it becomes ata. The ja becomes at. So this is all in the beginning of 7.1. As I mentioned to you many times, beginning of 7.1 comes all the pratyaya adeshaha varnyante. So this all the pratyaya adeshas are given in this saptama adhyayasya pachamapadasya puro bhage. So joanta is in there. Adabhyastat, ad abhyasta. So instead of ant we get at, and atmanipadeshu anataha. So instead of ja becoming anta, it became ata. So that's 715. The ja becomes ata. So we got she. So that's nothing special so far. But then comes two rules which I want to just point out to you with the dhatu she. So we got ata by 745. So this is also okay. This is also kind of a special rule, but this is for all atmanipadi dhatus. So this is not very special just for the dhatu she. Now comes two special rules come now. And one is this shingo root. Shingo root. So the 716, this is what I want to highlight, 716, that's why I started this whole thing. This is only for the dhatu shing. As I always told you, remember, look at the domain of each dhatu, each sutram. And this 716 is only for the dhatu shing. So the single dhatu shing, if that is there, then this this ja, which has now become ata, takes the root agamaha. Root agamaha. In the root, the ta is in it bahalantyam. You get the adyantau takitau. So it goes to beginning of the ata. So it becomes she. So 716 is the one that you want. 716, and that makes it into the she plus. It's going to make she plus rata, because that got the root agama. So this is a very specific form only for the dhatu shing. So 746. In the meanwhile, remember the sutram which we saw, the 3479, 3480. Yes, Kalpesh, your question? No. Okay. 3470 is which said that if the lakara is still as an
Muted.
then you have to use the Atmanipadanam Tier A. The Tier A sutram comes in.
So Satish, it is 7-1.
Yeah. Oh, did I make a mistake? Okay, 7-1, yes, 7-1. What did I put? 7-1, yes, I'm sorry. I kept putting 7-4, yes. So I'm saying 7-1. I'm putting 7-4. Sorry, yes, 7-1, 7. The beginning of 7-1 come all these sutras. Okay. Okay, and now this ata becomes ate by making the T bhaga into the A, which is three more that we talked about it today already. Lakara stirs and it. Then in the Atmanipadam, the T bhaga becomes A. T bhaga becomes A. This is 3-4, I think 79, which we saw. This is Tita Atmanipadanam Ter A. Titaha. So the Tit Lakara, if you have Atmanipadanam Ter A, the T bhaga becomes A. So 3-4-79, the T bhaga here is only this become rate. So the 3-4-79 is going to become share she rate. So 716 was one sutram which you want to highlight, and of course this 3-4-79 is a samanya sutram. There's nothing that special about that. That applies to all Atmanipada dhatus. When the lakara stirs and it, you make the T bhaga into A, and that becomes ate. Okay, so let me just highlight 716, and then and there's one more rule which I want to point out to you, then we'll go back to the today's lesson, and that one is that it takes the guna. This dhatu she takes the guna, because see, in Atmanipada what happens is that even though you could apply sarvadhatuka, ardhadhatuka, yoho, this pratyaya ate or dhatu pratyaya ja rather was a pratyaya which is sarvadhatukam. Ting shit sarvadhatukam. And then the moment it is sarvadhatukam, because sarvadhatukam apit, you get the nitvat, and that stops the gunaha. Okay, wait, one more time, a little bit slowly, is that this sutram 1, 2, 4, I think it is, which says that in the sarvadhatukam apit. So in the beginning of 1, 2, Panini, there was 26 rules, where Panini talks about what becomes a kit pratyaya, what becomes a nit pratyaya, which is the ka as a marker, or the ka varga panchama, nga as a marker. That's given in the first 26 rules of 1.2. Of course, if the ka is already a marker, the pratyaksham, you don't need to come here. But if the ka or nga may not be a marker, actually, like the pratyaya ja right now, which you're using, the ja does not have any ka or nga as a marker to begin with. But these 26 rules have to be checked to see if that by extension it might get the ka or nga, becomes nit what, as if he's had nga as an it. And very important rule is 1, 2, 4 says sarvadhatukam apit. Sarvadhatukam apit. Very important rule. So momentum pratyaya is sarvadhatukam, which is apit, does not have pa as an it. And the ja qualifies for that. Because of things is sarvadhatukam, it was pratyaya sarvadhatukam, does not have pa as an it, becomes sarvadhatukam apit, becomes nitvat. The ja becomes nitvat, and once that happens, by 115, by kiniticha, there is no gunaha. The gunaha is stopped by 115 kiniticha. So that sequence of, let me put that here like that. So this 1, 2, 4 made the 1, 2, 4 actually makes this pratyaya ja as nitvat, as if it has the n as an it, nitvat, I'm sorry, okay, nitvat. And then once that happens, the 115 will stops the guna operation, the guna. Okay, but we want the guna to happen here. So this now comes the second rule specific for dhatu shing only. Now comes the second rule which is only for this dhatu shing. And that comes in, I think it is 7.4 around 20-ish, which tells us that when this dhatu shing is there, and the pratyaya is a sarvadhatuka pratyaya, then we have to do the guna for the angam. So this puts back the gunam. So the gunam which was stopped by the 115 via 124. So the sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka yoha was stopped. But the 7.4.21 is telling us that if you have the dhatu shing, then you still do the guna. No matter what, the pratyaya might be kit or nit, doesn't matter. Because shingaha sarvadhatuke gunaha. Shingaha sarvadhatuke gunaha. So 7.4.21 says no matter what that maybe kit nit doesn't matter. It is still when the dhatu shing is there, then do the gunaha for the angam with the pratyaya sarvadhatuke. So this overrules everything else. And by 7.4.20, this is the second I wanted to point out to you. But 7.4.21, I'm going to highlight that also. But that's the second rule. So these two rules, which is the shingo rut and the shingaha sarvadhatuke gunaha. So these, always keep these in mind. The moment you have the dhatu shing, of course the shingo rut only applies to that third person plural form. But this 7.4.21 will apply in all 9 places. You know, calls for the guna of she. So this is the one I wanted to point out. And I just saw the dhatu shing and I went on the side track. But these are important rules because you'll get the form sherate. Get the form sherate. Any of you who chant the Shiva Mahimna Stotram, the form Samshirate comes in there. Samshi is to doubt. Samshirate means they doubt. If you next time when you go to a Shivaratri program, to listen to the Shiva Mahimna Stotram, look at this form Samshirate. So that comes in the Shiva Mahimna Stotram. Okay. Cause of gunaha of shing. Okay, let's leave it at that. So let's go on now. So these two, let me just highlight these, and we can do that. So if you want to recite the entire Rupamala, the dhatu will become what? Shete, then shayate, then sherate, then sheshe, shayate, shedve. So shaye, and then it should become Shevahe, Shemaye, Smahe. So that because that She should be everywhere. So it becomes Shete. Then She plus Ate, you do the Echoyavas and they become Shayate. Then She Rate, you already did that, She Rate. Then becomes She. Then becomes Shayate. Same, She plus Ate becomes Echoyavas and the Shayate. Then you make a She Dve. And then again, she plus a becomes Echoyava Sandhi becomes shaye. And she plus vahe, she plus mahe. She vahe, she mahe. And you can always good to check these because also I mentioned too in this Madhaviya Dhatu Vritti, in the very first 2-3 lines, he will give the Lakara Prakriya, the Tinganta Prakriya for every Dhatu. So it's very nice to see that. So any Lakara question, any Tinganta question that you have, always check in the Madhavya Dhatu Vritti, the forms. And this particular edition is, by the way, the Shing is Swapne, not Shayane. Shing is Swapne. It's on page 429. And if you look at that, in the very 2-3 lines only he'll give that, all the forms. So 429, he gives Shete, Shayate, Sherate, Shedve, Shevahe, Shevahe, Shemahe. And in the very second line, he gives both these sutras. Shinga Sarvadhatuke Gunaha and then Shingo Rut. So these are two sutras. Okay, anyway, it's a little bit sidetrack, but 716, 7421, keep this in mind. If you see the dhatu Shing, and I can take it down. But right now, they don't apply to us right now. Why not? Why are these not coming into play for us right now? Because of the fact that the Shingo Rut only comes for the pratyaya ja. We already saw the 2485 makes it da rau rasaha. Da rau rasaha. So that one is going to be, so only when the ja becomes ata, then only the Shingo Rut comes. Okay, be very careful. Because now you can argue, okay, fine, we made it da rau rasaha, so we made it ras. The ja became ras. But then why not do the Rut agama to the ras also? Because the see how Panini places this very, very smartly. He does that. He put this sutram right below the ad adesha. So when we did the adabhyastat and the atmadipadeshvanataha, only when the ad adesha comes, then only the Rut comes. The Rut doesn't come otherwise. So here we were. See this first. The Joantaha is 713. Ad abhyastat is 714. Then atmadipadeshvanataha is 715 and Shingo Rut. So only when the ad adesha comes, then only the Rut comes. In our case, you're going to do the ras adesha. By 2485, you're going to get da rau rasaha. When the ras adesha comes, there's not going to be no Rut agamaha. So that's why the 7, even though we're dhatu shing we have, but this 716 gets no chance. So the ras comes into a search. How about this one? How about 7421? Why don't we have to deal with that right now? Because that was only sarvadhatuke. So sarvadhatuke. What's happening is that because of the shatasi lutoho, the tas pratyaya is a pratyaya which is ardhadhatukam. So that's the scope of their sutram is now it is out of scope. So that is why the 716 and 7421 have no bearing for us right now. Because 716 only comes when the ja becomes at. You're going to make it ras right now. And 7421 only comes sarvadhatuke. The pratyaya tas is pratyaya ardhadhatukam, so we don't need them. Okay, so that's why they don't apply to us right now. Okay, so then otherwise let's do read the long way. We can skip a couple of steps now. Do the she, do the lut by anadyatane lut, and then we can do the usual halantyam upadesha jananasika it lasya tiptasji, and now we're in atmanipada, so we have to bring in the pratyaya ta. So we'll start from that. Let's take with, of course, in the shing, the dhatu. By the way, this nga of the dhatu shing, that makes it an atmanepadi dhatu. An atmanepadi dhatu. Because of the 1, 3, 12, which is what it says that any dhatu which has this nga as an it, or which has the anudatta swara on the it letter, anudatta nyata atmanepadam. Anudatta nyata atmanepadam. Every dhatu can only take parasmapada affixes by default. By default. How do we know that? Because Panini says sheshat kartari parasmapadam. In the active sense, okay, I'm talking about active sense only. In the passive, they all can take only atmanepada pratyayas. But in the active, because of in 1.3, Panini does all of this. He tells us which pratyayas to bring in after dhatus. Do we bring in pratyaya which is sarvadhatukam or ardhadhatukam? I'm sorry, atmanepadam or parasmapadam. That's all in 1.3. And from 1.3.12, anudatta gnita atmanepadam up to end of 1.3, Panini does the padavyavastha. And the very first sutram is anudatta gnita, which is nga as an it. So right now in the dhatu shing, we do have this nga as an it. So maybe we'll put it on top here. So by 1.3.12, we are going to use, by 1.3.12, we use the, that's the first thing we need to check, is what pratyayas can bring, atmane pada pratyayaha. Okay, so that's that, because of otherwise the default really is, in the active sense, is the parasmapadam, because sheshat kartari parasmapadam. Sheshat Kartari Parasmaipadam. And that will come in the 1378 says Sheshat Kartari Parasmaipadam, and also in the passive. In the passive, always only Atmanepadam, because of 1313 Bhavakarmanoho, 1313 Bhavakarmanoho. In the passive, you only use the Atmanepada pratyas. Okay. Anyway, right now 1312 for us. We know this dhatu is as an it, so we bring in. That's why we can only bring the she plus ta. First we're skipping some steps again. We already bring in the lut, we did the halantyam, we did the upadesha nasik it, we did the lasya, she plus ta. Also we can also bring in the shatasi lutoho, so we can bring the tas in between here. So that also, and then we need to check if the dhatu she is a set dhatu or is it a anit dhatu. You see, the dhatu she is a set dhatu, anit dhatu. Now again, in the ajanta dhatus, udrudantai, only long u, long ru ending dhatus, and 12 others are set. Everybody else is anit. One more time, this is only a top level designation. There are further rules which you already saw. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to do one thing. After this one we'll do that. Last time we went through 7.2, we didn't go in enough detail. We'll do it today. Anyway, let's look at those 12 dhatus and see if dhatu sheing is in that, because if it is in that, then it's a set dhatu. It's going to be anit dhatu otherwise. So all this comes in the 7 to 10. Ekacha upadeshe anudattat. Ekacha upadeshe anudattat. In nishedha. The 7 to 10 in the 7 to 10 ekacha upadeshe anudattat. Okay, here we are. Okay, what do we have here? It is udrudantaihi yauti rukshnu shing. Okay, shing is in that. The shing is in those 12 dhatus, which are actually set dhatus in the ajanta dhatus. So by 7 to 10 cannot stop the iragama for this. The 7 to 10 only stops the iragama. In nishedha, only 7 to 10 does. Because every dhatu as a default will allow, because of why? Because 7 to 35 says adhadhatukascha idvalade. It doesn't put any condition. So because 7 to 10 cannot stop it, we have to make the iragama here. So I just put it over here, which the 7 to 10 doesn't stop the it. Okay, I just put it like that. Doesn't stop the it. Okay, so we got this much here. So again, the same thing we can do the sarvadhatika, ardhadhatika yoho gunaha, and do the echo yava sandhi, become shaitas. The shaitas is going to be common work for us. The shaitas is going to be samanya karyam, because just like we did dhatu bhu, we can do the sarvadhatika, ardhadhatika yoho, and make the echo yava yavaha, make the common work. So I'll just put the numbers here as 7384, same as before, nothing new, same as before. And of course, Echo Yava Yava, I think all of you know that, 6178. And so the common base is, so the reason I'm a little bit wary of doing this is that this common base thing, you should not do like that. Because technically, when every form comes, you have to start from the beginning and go through all the steps, okay? But we are assuming that all the steps are common up to this point. Nothing else is going to stop that. Therefore, we are creating this common base thing, okay? We should always start from dhatu plus lakara and go through all the steps for singular, dual, plural, and all of that. Okay. All right. So we got that. Now what happens again here? Again, the same thing which can do is the dara rasaha. 2485 is going to come, make the ta into da, because the 2485 did not say parasya padam or atmane padam. It just said luta prathamasya dara rasaha. Prathamasya did not require any atmane padam or parasya padam. So both atmane padam. So this is one of the strange forms, I think this is really the unique form where in the third person you got the same form in the singular, dual, plural in atmane padam and parasya padam. It's a very strange thing. So I think this is the unique case because of the 2485, the Daro Rasaha, Luta Prathamasya. That's what is causing this thing, is Daro Rasaha. That is the, did not say which padam it has to be, okay? So Prathamasya Daro Rasaha. So we do again the same that we had those steps before in Dhatu Bhu. We got the Da, and then we did the Chutu, and then we did the T Lopaha by the Ditkarna Samrathyat Abhasyapi Ter Lopaha Athva Anubandhakarna Samrathyat Abhasyapi Ter Lopaha. So we use 64143 by extension. I'll just copy this, I'll just copy this. We'll copy this. So all this is common, This Da and the A coming here. So this one, let me copy that one. Because now we have the, you know what, I'll keep it simple. Let's put it down here. Put it as, make it Shaitas plus Da by 2485. Shaitas plus Da by 2485. And then, okay, so 2485 Daro Rasaha, and then we'll use use 64143, which you already saw, extension, and then remove the T Bhagaha. Of course, do Chutu in the meanwhile, do the It letter becomes, then we get the form Shayita. We'll get the form Shayita. So the next two also will be the same, Shayita, Shayita Rau, Shayita Raha, and there we use the Richa Sutram, because it says Tasastyor Lopaha, from that Richaha comes, is that Rado Pratyaya Pade Tatha. So when you have a Rephadi Pratyaya following, then for the Tas and the Dhatu As, you do the Sakara Lopaha. So Shaita is a singular form, third person singular, and then you will get the Shaita Rau, Shaita Raha, again nothing new, the same steps which we had before, Shaita Rau, Shaita Raha. So Shaita Rau is dual, and then Shaita Raha will be plural. Only apply the Daro Rasaha and Richa. Okay, now this is how it becomes very easy, that once you do one form it comes. So now what we want to do in the second person singular, we will start with the same base Shaitas and bring in the Pratyaya Thas. Of course we should still do the Lasya and all that, but let's start with Thas. Now remember those two sutras which we saw, the 3479, 3480. Anytime the Lakara has stirs and It, then we should always apply those two. The Tita Atmanipadanam Te Re and Thasas Se. Tita Atmanipadanam Te Re, Thasas Se. Tita Atmanipadanam Te Re, Thasas Se. These two sutras you should immediately apply. If you have a Lakara with Ters and It, and you're in the Atmanipadam. Why only Atmanipadam? Because Sutra says that Titaha Atmanipadanam Tere. Anuvritti comes as next sutram. Thasas Se. The Thas immediately becomes Se. It's Sarvadesha. Anekashit Sarvasya. Because the Pratyaya Se is a Anekaladesha. So we get the Thas becomes Se. Thasas Se. And now again the same sutram. You can use the Tasastyor Lopaha. Tasastyor Lopaha again applies here also. So let me just go to 3480, show it to you again. Thasas Se. So in Atmanipadam, the Thas becomes Se immediately if the Lakara is stirs in it. So the 3480 we apply, make it into Thasas Se. And so we'll make it like that. So keep the common base and then add the Se by 3480. Then finally, we apply the same sutram which we had in before when we did the same form, the Bhavitasi, the Gantasi, all that. Tasastyor Lopaha. Tasastyor Lopaha. So we have Sakaradi. We do have again a Pratyaya which is Sakaradi, just like in the Sip. In the Se also we have Pratyaya which is Sakaradi Pratyaya, and which we can, and we do have the Tas. So this 7450 is going to apply. to the sakara lopaha of that shayita, the sakara of tas is going to go away. You get, shayita se. Shayita se, we're going to get that form shayita se. Okay, put that down here. I think I mentioned to you in one class before is that, when I was learning these lakaras, it was kind of difficult because my teachers should make me do all 10 lakaras in order, Very difficult because first you do lut, then do lit after that. So that comes all duplication and all those kind of things. Then you come to lut after that. Then comes the tas. So you have to recite these in order like that, So lut, lit, lut, lut. Then come lot. After lot again you're going to Savadhatakam. So you have to, go back to all of that. And then finally you come to lung. Then you have to do the ling. Then you have to do vidhi ling, ashi ling. Then you have to do the lung, you do rung. So every dhatu used to make me recite all 10 in order like that. It's very difficult to do that because you have to switch back and forth between one and the other, which is good. It kind of makes your knowledge firm. So for almost 2 to 3 years, for 3 hours a week, we used to do that. So now for the rest, thanks to His grace, for the rest of my life now, these are all going, even in my sleep I can recite some of these. Because, every day I used to do this, every week. So after my head used to spin after that for 2 hours, after doing about 3 hours of that. So, but now it's very easy for me because all these sutras we can remember most of the time. So the same sutra, we use the 7-4. So practice, the only way to practice. Now also I mentioned to you, without Panini, lakaras are very difficult. Tingantanya. How much can you memorize? You cannot memorize all of this. You don't need to memorize, only 3-4 sutras you have. So what's the point of memorizing all the time like that? Doesn't make any sense. So, okay, so Shayita say we got 7-450, the same sutram, tasastyor lopaha, 7-450. And now comes the next one, which is what? We have Shayitas plus the Atham. Again, we use this 3-479 to make it into, make the T bhagaha. So we have, actually start with the Atham. Always start with the default pratyaya and then only make the changes. Try not to skip any steps. So then use 3-479 Tita Atmanipadanam Tere. In the Atmanipadam, the T bhagaha becomes A, so becomes Athe. So then we get the Shayitas plus the Athe. Let's just join that, Shayita. I'm sorry. So become Shayita Sathe. Nothing special. Now, so far we have not used any special rule. You notice that? We have not used any special rule. All we're using is rules which have much bigger domains, or the same rule that we used in the Parasmapadam. We only use the Daro Rasluta Prathamascha Daro Rasaha. We use the Tehe Sutra, which we already use in Parasmapadam, and we also use the Tasyastyor Lopaha. We also did that. So now comes one rule, which also is nothing specific with Lut Lakara. The next step, when you do this, so this is the second person duo. This is the second person duo. Now the next sutra, I'll give you a warning right now that we're going to have some problems. Okay, so we won't go in too much detail in this class because we'll take the whole class. But I just want to give you a little bit forewarning that this sutram is a can of worms. Okay, so when you have dhvam, again, this is a second person plural. You again apply this 3-487, use 3-479, use the Tita Atmanipadanam Tere, make it into Dve, so Shaitas Dve, okay? And now comes the sutram which says Dicha. First of all, you have to be extremely careful because this Richa and Dicha, they sound very similar. And they also apply kind of back-to-back in this situation, and so you might be tempted to think that they come in the same section, but it is completely different sections. So far we use the sutram Richa, and Richa comes in 7-451. In the Sapada Saptadhyayi comes Richa. It has the anuvritti of tasastyo lopaha. So that is coming in sutram Richa. So the let's go back to it one more time. So so far we have used sutram Richa, And richa is coming below tasastyor lopaha. Anuvritti of tasastyor comes down to richa. And also you get the anuvritti of the sakara coming from 7449. So 7449 comes the saha, the sasya, sakarasya, and then tasastyor lopaha, and then richa. Okay, so keep this in mind. Now, so that is richa, and that is 7451. Now, sounding very similar, is the 8225. 8225 is richa. I'm sorry, dhicha. I already made a mistake. Makes it dhicha. That also removes this. Now that has the anuvritti of sasya lopaha coming from 822324. So this similar work it's doing, but that's nothing to do with pas and asti. Any sakaraha followed by a dhakaraha, it technically should take, lopa. But that is a bit of a problem. That's a bit of a problem, because if you start doing that, so first of all, do not confuse the 7451 and the 8225. They're in completely different domains. One is in Sapada Saptadhyayi, one is Tripadi. They get different anuvrittis from different places. Unfortunately, some of the very good books, I think in the Bala Manorama, and we should not criticize Bala Manorama because, it's a very good commentary. And I don't think it can be a mistake of the author, but I think probably his TA went on vacation that week. I think in the Bala Manorama, unfortunately, this Sutram Dhicha, the anuvritti is wrongly put. So please, if anybody is reading Bala Manorama or some other places also, you have to watch out for this one, this Dhicha Sutram. You have to make the correction. Again, it's probably not the author's mistake. It's probably some editors or something. It has come in like that. So do not confuse the 7451 Richa and 8225 Dhicha. So I'll just put it like that over here. So do not confuse. They are right now. It seems to be similar for us, because one says remove the sakara of tas when you have pratyaya with the repadi, and then the other one seems to say remove the sakara of tas when you have pratyaya which is dhakaradi. But they are not like that. Okay, Vasu has a question. Oh, I made a typo already. I think Vasu's hand is up. Yes, Vasu.
Sahitas plus dve, I think that's what you meant, not dvami.
Yes, I knew. Thank you. I'm glad somebody is watching me. Yes, thank you. Yes, I mean the dve, because the T bhaga is the and the T bhaga becomes A and becomes dve. But I was saying that I was putting something else, yeah. Because, that says this, Tita apne padanam tere, so the T bhaga becomes A. So the T bhaga is Thank you, Vasu. Thank you. Good to have you in the class. You can check my typos right away. Tatkala samshodhanam bhavati. Tatkalam. Okay, so do not confuse the 7451 with 8222. Because 8225 doesn't apply only to the tas pratyaya, it is general pratyaya. Okay, so let's open this can of worms and see what is this 8225. So let's see what 8225 has to say. And that the problem there is that if you start taking that every sakara takes lopaha when you have the dha following, then if you have a form like payas dhavati, water runs, payas dhavati, should become payo dhavati. You want to do the sasajusho, ruhu and all that good stuff, you want to do that, hashicha, adgunaha, you want to make it payo dhavati. But if you start taking this sutram at face value, that dhakare pare sakara lopa syat, then you have major problems, because then it'll become paya dhavati. So that will not work for us. So the way that Kashika has done it, we just accept that for the time being, is that the way that Kashika has done it is that, and if you want to do more research on this, you're welcome to do it, but it is, you have to do some samanadam in some way. So when the Kashika's way is like this, he says dhakarado pratyaya parataha. So he changed that now. We are not in any Angasya Adhikara, okay. See, when the Angasya Adhikara goes from 641 to end of 7.4. So Anga is a relative term to the Pratyaha. So Pratyaya Sambandhi eva Angam Bhavati. So when you say Angasya Adhikara, means the Pratyaya is Adhyarutam. It is assumed to be there. So there when he says, for example, when you had the Sutram, there we had the Richa Sutram. That then you can translate that to mean the Repado Pratyaya Pare. We are Angasya Adhikara, we are there, but here we don't have that. Then from where does Kashika get this Pratyaya Parataha? Because there are some problems. If you don't do Pratyaya Parataha, then it becomes the it gives some major problems. So now the way they justify this thing is that we are in the Padasya Adhikara is coming from 8 to 8-1 way back. So Padamadhye, this sutram is only within the Padam, is what the commentators have decided, is that because of Padasya Padat, this Adhikaras are coming down here. So on the basis of that, they are commenting on this one 8 to 25 as that within. So let's keep it as that. Okay, let's keep it like that. That 8 to 25 is it should be inside a padam. So when you say payas dhavati, then payas is a suptingantam padam, dhavati is pruthak padam. Then you cannot make it paya dhavati. It should become you should go the usual such as shoru and all that stuff. You should become payo dhavati. But if it's within the same padam, which is what we have now, because what do we have? You have shayitas plus dve. The sakara is not a padanta sakara. So therefore we're going to use the 8 to 25. So we'll accept what this Kashika is saying, is that make it, so dhakarado pratyaya pare sakarasya lopasya. So we'll take the interpretation, and so that will apply in the bottom line is it applies for us right now, no problem. But don't extend it and try to apply everywhere, because you will have some problems. So just take the Vyakhyanam Sharanam Asmakam. Vyakhyanam is our Sharanam. So we accept the Vyakhyanam, and we'll take it like that. So Dhakarado Prat. That's why I always tell you, check the vritti before applying Sutram. Check what the vritti says, because see, these kind of details, if you don't know the details, how do you know? In the example Payas Dhavati, if you say Dhicha, you can start applying that also. So don't do that, only because there are sometimes some tweaking has to be done, and the vritti already does that for you. So you can keep your life simple, accept the vritti as it is. And if you want, you can do more research and read the Mahabhashyam and all if you want afterwards. Okay. So bottom line is we have to use 8 to 25, and we remove this sakara of tas, because dhakara pratyaya. But the problem that the reason why the confusion arises, because in the Siddhanta Kaumudi, these sutrams come back to back. They come pretty much back to back. So Richa and Dhicha. That's why nowadays nobody says Ashtadhyayi nowadays. That's one of the things I try to do in this class, is to give you a flavor of the Ashtadhyayi. Mostly people will only study Siddhanta Kaumudi. And that too, they will only study Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi. So you lose the entire, the parampara is lost. So then in the Siddhanta Kaumudi, the Vyakhyanam will be like this, is that you will see that, in fact, you might have it here. Let me show it to you. When you have this Vyakhyanam of Siddhanta Kaumudi, or Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, he says, Dhado Pratyaya Pare Sasya Lopaha, and Richa is Rado Pratyaya Pare Sasya Lopaha. So then, so they will come, they will come very, so you might think they're in the same section. So you lose the sequence of the Ashtadhyayi. Okay. So 8 to 25 we apply, and we make it make it Shayita, and that's it. That ends this form, Shayita Dve. So that one 8 to 25 is a new sutram we have seen Atmanepadam only, because we did not have any pratyaya which was Dhakaradi in the Parasmanepadam. So even though 8 to 25 doesn't say anything about Atmanepadam, Parasmanepadam, but as it turns out, this pratyaya Dhvam only comes in the Atmanepadam, so it only applies. Let me highlight that one. So that is the first one that we have used specifically for this Atmanepadam, this 7-4. Again, that doesn't say anything about Atmanepadam. It requires pratyaya with Dhakaradi pratyaya, and that comes in the Dhvam only. So Shaita Adve. The next two forms are going to be very similar that we did here. So actually, no, next one we also need some help. So let's look at the next one. So this is the second person plural. Second person plural. Second person plural. It's interesting actually. In this class right now we have about 15-20 people, because I thought Vyakaranam people don't want to hear Vyakaranam, but there are more people in this class than any other class nowadays, which is interesting. So these people in this class is about right now 20, including myself. There are 20 people right now, which is more than we have either on Thursday or sometimes Saturday. So maybe people want Vyakaranam. Good to know. Now only people don't want to hear Vyakaranam. So Shaita Dve. If you look at the first, now if you come back to the first person singular, we have the, Shaitas. That will not change. The Shaita, that common work is not going to change. That is going to similarly stay. And then we have the Shaitas plus id vahi mahi, right? So we have to start with the id. And then we do the halantyam. Id actually, id vahi mahi. So the id vahi mahi. By the way, this id is not the id agamaha. This id is not the id agamaha, because of the fact that we are in the pratyah parascha adhikaraha. Pratyah parascha adhikaraha, because this, so there should not be an agamaha. It's coming in 3478. So the this is not the id agamaha. This is the id pratyah, which is the first person singular atmanipadam pratyah. Id vahi mahi. So id 3478. Do the halantyam. This it is the takar is an it in this case. Nothing to do with the adyantau takitau. This is not an agamaha. But this is actually to distinguish this it. Because Pani Anasutram says itot. Sutram itot we will see sometime later on. But that one, Pani wants only this ikaraha to do something. So that he says itot. So he can distinguish this. This is the e which is marked with the ta. So visheshanartam. So he makes it as specifically this e only. If he didn't have the ta as an it, how can he then say only this e should do something? He has to use some big term like, atmane padasya, uttam purushasya, all that. So he can just say itot, make a short sutram. But for that, he needs to put some tag on here to mark this one. So this is not by the adyantau takitau. That's only for agamas. This 8 comes in 3478, which is in the pratyah parasya adhikaraha. This is a pratyaha. So shaitas plus it, halantyam, and then again apply the 3479. Chitta atmanipadanam tere. It becomes the, so remove the halantyam 3479 and make it a. So shaitas plus a. So we get shaitas plus a. Shaitas plus a. So that's what we have now, shaitas plus a. And now we come a special sutram again, which we'll need to mark up. So shaitas plus a. And the sutram is ha-eti. 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 We already saw the tasastyor lopaha. We already seen dicha. And right below that, we will have ha-eti. Ha-eti. So 80. So when you have this a following, then the sakara of tas or as becomes hakara, ha-80. So that is the 7-4 should be 52, ha-80. Ha-80, that's one. So tasastyor lopa, 50 which you already used, is richa, 51, and ha-80. So last form is 7-4-52, ha-80. And that should be the last sutram for us for this lut lakaraha. So 7-4-52. So these three you want to keep in mind. 7-4-50, 51, 52, because this talks specifically about tas. Tasastyor lopaha, richa, ha-eti. Also 2-4-85, lutaha, prasamascha darau rasaha. So these four are specific for lut or tas. Remaining ones, are all have bigger domains. So let me highlight this one, 7-4-52. So even though I highlighted 8-25, that's not really for just this one. So that only requires a dhakaradi pratyaya pare, which happens to be dvam, but that has nothing to do with lut lakara. Okay, so that's what this one is, lut lakara, 7-4-52. So 7-4-52 changes the changes the sa to a to ha. Okay, so we get the new form. We'll get the shaita he, and then the remaining two are easy. Shaita he, Shaita. The remaining two what? Shaitas will be common work. Shaitas vahe, shaitas mahe. So there is nothing special in that. Shaitas vahe, shaitas mahe. We just use the same, just 3, 4, 79, make the T bhaga into A. Because you start with shaitas plus, vahi. Then make tita apne padanam te re, shaitas vahe, and then shaitas mahe. That's the next one. So vahe. So that completes this one. So not that complicated because we are already using many rules which we already knew before. So 3, 4, 79, shaitas vahe, and the same thing we can use the shaitas mahe. Okay. Now let's try to follow in the book. Let's see what he's saying. Now the reason that in the book he gave us a shortcut. Now we know why we got the shortcut in the book. Because of the fact that the same rules which we're using for the as dhatu came in for this one also. Which were they? Because the 7, 4, 50, 51, 52 were all for tasastyor. So because when we do the dhatu as, we get the form asi, tattvamasi, you all know that. So asi, as plus si becomes asi. So same thing happens there also. So that's why we got this. And then as I said to you, the dara or rasaha, the form which you get, bhavita, bhavitaro, bhavitaraha, shaita, shaitaro, shaitaraha, those same forms you get if you add the pratyaya trich. So like karta, kartaro, kartaraha. So it's just a coincidence. They are not derived by Panini in the same way at all. The completely different rules come over there, different rules over. But as it turns out, the forms are the same. Because you're going to get the same idagamaha when you're talking about the trish pratyaya or the tas pratyaya. So that will be common. And as it turns out, it results in the same subanta forms as the form that we have here. Okay, so there we get the bhavita, bhavitaro, bhavitaraha, the same forms in the prathama vibhakti, ekavachanam, dvivachanam, bahuvachanam, bhavitru pratipadikam, bhavitru. That's what the author had given. I think we should do it the Paninian way and take it the way we had done. So that takes us to this part here. And this one, of course, you know, the final vowel takes guna and the medial. So this is the 3, 4, 84, 86, which we already looked at. Okay, now verbs of 10th conjugation. Just do one quickly over here. Let's do dhatu chur. What he's saying is verbs of 10th conjugation keep the base of the present tense. I think what basically means is that this nich pratyaya will stay and which will not go away by anything. So let's take dhatu chur and just do one form. Only do one because then we can recite the remaining. There'll be no difference. So let's take dhatu chur. What happens in the 10th gana is that because of the swarte nich, the moment you bring the chur dhatu, before anything else can be done, you have to add this pratyaya nich to that. Swarte nich. Nich means because it's the without changing the meaning. Swarte means, you know, artha parivartanam nasti. Without the same meaning. Sasmin eva arthe. It takes a nich pratyaya. So chorayati means he steals himself. He steals himself becomes chorayati. Of course, if he cause someone to steal, also becomes chorayati. But that's different. But chorayati means that he steals himself. So what sutram we're using there is with a long sutram. Satyavapash, etc. Also become a bit of a strange sutram of Panini. I think it's 3-1 around 20. No, it's below 22. Maybe like 24, 25. Satyavapasha, Rupa, Veena, Tula, Shloka. All that's this one. Then Churadibhyonich. So that is the Churadibhyonich for 3-1-25. You get the nish pratyaya swarte by 3-1-25, and nothing can stop that. So the chur cannot be used until nich comes in there. Of course, the nich might take lopa after because of something, but as a starting point, the chur has to take nich. So do not use any 10th gana dhatu unless you bring in the nich immediately by 3-1-25. And of course, the nich does the guna of the u by 3-4-7-3-86. Puganta lagupatasya cha. So lagupadha, which is the penultimate short Lahu vowel which is going to take guna if the pratyaya following is sarvadhatuka or ardhadhatukam. And nich qualifies for that, so we get the form chor. I guess maybe that's where in the Hindi word chori. So chori might have come from this. So chori gets to that is a new form. So chori. So this is a new dhatu. How come it's a new dhatu? Because sanadyanta dhatavaha. Sanadyanta dhatavaha. Sanadyanta dhatavaha is these from san adi, which is in the, because see, we cannot bring in lut or anything else unless you have the dhatu sanya. Dhatu sanya is required before we can either conjugate the verb or we can bring in a krut pratyaya. It still requires, they all require dhatoho, dhatoho. So, but what Panini has done is that in 3132, he says sanadyanta dhatavaha. The san adi pratyaya, we start from 315. 315, these are what are called derived dhatus. Sadhita dhatavaha, derived dhatus. They all get a new dhatu sanya by sanadi from 315 to 3131. All these forms include also all these nama dhatus are coming in there. They also have to be conjugated because these are not in dhatu partha. See, chur is in dhatu partha, but chori is not. So we have to give it in this 3132 sanadyanta dhatavaha. We have to give it a dhatu sanya. And then, so we'll put a document there. So it gets the dhatu sanya by 3-1. And once we have that, then we can go on our merry way and do the same thing we did before by the, get chori plus lut and then do all the prakriya. So we can skip some steps. So we can now take chori. And this is actually, these dhatus also becomes basically, they become like ubhayapadis. Remember we talked about the 1.3, which we talked about, which decide which padam we can use. This sutra is Nichascha Sutram is there in that, 1.3. And that is going to tell us that we can use the Atmane padam or the Parasapada pratyaha. So basically these nijantas, they can become ubhayapadi. So let's skip some steps. So we'll become, I'll give you sutram also. So we can become tas, and tas is going to become the tip pratyaya to start with. You're going to become dara or rasaha. So I can bring in tip, and the tip is going to become the da, so which we already saw before. So chori plus tas plus tip. Now, one thing about chori is that, okay, before I forget, let us look at the sutram in 1.3. In 1.3, sutram called nichascha, Panini says, is when you have the nijjantas, then if the fruit of the action is accruing to the doer, so katra bhipraye kriya phale, then it takes the 1374 nichascha. So if it is the action is done for the benefit of the doer, it takes the atmanepada affixes, otherwise take parasnipada. But as I mentioned to you, this distinction has been lost in the language. So this part, which Panini talks about, the katra bhipraya kriya phale, sampratam na adriyate, it is not respected right now. So my Gita shloka is, I think, third adhyaya, pachanti atma karanat. So I should mention to you the pachanti atma karanat, because the shloka specifically says atma karanat pachanti. They cook for themselves. And the dhatu pach happens to be ubhayapadi dhatu also. So we could easily use pachante. But still Vyasa says pachanti atma karana. Now that clearly shows you that this distinction between the fruit accruing to the doer, accruing to somebody else, that is no longer honored in this language. So nichascha basically makes him ubhayapadi. Basically nichascha says that when you have a nijjanta dhatu, then that's going to become a ubhayapadi nichascha. Nichascha also has some controversies, but let's not get into that today. It take too long for us. Nichascha has a little bit of controversies, but bottom line is that at least as a general statement, this nijanta dhatus, they become ubhayapadis. So by 1.3, or maybe I'll put that 1.374 makes the 10th gana dhatus, makes nijantas as the nijantas, nich, dhatavaha, ubhayapadinaha, dhatavaha, ubhayapadinaha, Ubhaya. Ubhaya. Padinaha. So keep that in mind when you decline any of these. Don't be surprised to see the different names. But once you have, now what happens is that since these are anekach, there is no question of the 7 to 10 coming and stopping idagama. We know what the 7 to 10 says, that it should be ekacha upadesha anudattat. Ekacha upadesha anudattat. First of all, chori is anekach. Second, it wasn't upadesha at all, because upadesha only chur was there. We applied the niche and to give it a new dhatu sanya by sanadjanta dhatava. So chori is not in upadesha. It is coming through the niche prakriya, it is coming in. It's not ekach anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. So this cannot, the idagama cannot be stopped. So all the derived dhatus which come in through this 3132 sanadjanta dhatavaha, as a general rule, will always be set. Always be set. So you don't have to worry about going through the list of that list of, karikas. You don't need any of that. So you just make the idagama, and then we can make it into the itas. So now I'm coming to why the book has given what he has given. So itas plus, again, we make it the das. We already did that before, dar or rasaha. And now what will happen is that the e is going to take the guna. But the itas can do, again, 7384, can do the guna of the ending e of chori. Sarva dhatuka ardha dhatuka yoho. Become chore. And so then again you apply the, so 7384 and the echo yavayavaha, 76178, and you can get the chorayitas. So once you do chorayitas, it's same as the bhavitas. So once you form chorayitas, then you have chorayita, chorayitara, chorayitara, and chorayitasi, chorayitastha, chorayitastha, chorayitasmi, chorayitasvaha, chorayitasmaha. So that one is, there's no, so once you form the angam, then the rest of it is easy. So you can chora, become chore, you can do the H-O-Y sandhi and become chora yi, I'm sorry. I got to improve my typing. Chora yi tas. And that is the common bit. That's why in the book he says that so is the base. So now why do you say in the book the same thing as in lat? Because what happens in the lat? Lat you get the pratyaya shap. So the same chori comes in the lat. And then you put in the shap pratyaya. The shap also does the guna for the chori, becomes chore. It becomes choraya. So chorayati, chorayata, chorayataha, chorayanti, etc. So when the shap also does the guna to the chori, and it does the H-O-Y sandhi, become choraya. Itas, because the idagama is nityam, because it's anekash dhatu, so it's going to have the same prakriya by doing the chorayitas. So choraya with the shap, chorayitas with this tas, going to have the same. That's when the book he says keep the same base as in lat. Nothing to do with lat. All he means is that the niche pratyaya has come and he's going to take guna, he's going to go the H-O-Y sandhi route and we become like that. So that's why, but he's, I guess, giving a shortcut for us. But so that's the explanation statement in the book. Now, okay, so you've given that. Now what I want to do is that one thing which I forgot to do before is last time when we're looking at this Set, Anit, just do some editing. You see, sometimes I edit this document like by Friday, Saturday, because I may not have time during the week. So this document gets edited a little bit by like Sunday. Okay, give me till like Sunday to edit this document. So what we talked about is 7 to 35, which is the pivotal sutram in the idagama section. Adhadhatukasya id valadehe. And then we looked at the nisheda. In nisheda is from 7 to 8 to 7 to 34. And then the id vidhayaka sutrani, they come from the 36 to 75. So basically, if you see an idagama, but it should not be there, then you have to go to 7 to 36 to 75 to find some sutram to allow it, even though 7 to 10 doesn't allow it, like form like hanishye in Gita, hanishye. So that this han is the anit dhatu, which has allowed the idagama to find some sutram there. That was fine. And if the idagama should be there but is not there, like a form like bhutani, you come to 7 to 8 to 34 to stop it. I didn't go a little bit more detail. So then later on what I said was that there is some optionality also is given. First of all, there are also some sutras 59 to 64. Also, anuvritti of na is coming down there. So not only 7 to 8 to 34. Again, you don't have to remember all these details, but since we did some details last time, just to add a couple of more things. See, for you, even if you remember the 7-2 has the idagama section, that is enough for you. Because remember 7 to 35 at least and 7 to 10. These two only remember. Rest of them you can look up and you can find out. So 7 to 35 and 7 to 10. But I just went into some more details here. And you can listen to them and try to just keep in the back of your mind. Maybe the 7 to 59, anuvritti of this na goes down to 64. So this also is the nisheda is coming here. Or some specific dhatu, specific sutra is coming down here. So and there's also a vibhasha coming in 7 to 65. So I put that in the document just to show that this is also anuvritti of na from 7 to 59 to 64. Okay, and the optionality also is given in not only in 7 to 41 to 51. See the what are called so-called the weight dhatus. The weight dhatus, the two main sutras are 7 to 44, 45. Okay, the anuvritti of va is coming down. So 44, 45 of the va. There also was in va coming down in 41, 42, 43. Again a va is coming down from 44 to 51. So we have, so basically the entire thing goes from 7 to 41 to 51. Also 56, 57, and 65, 62 optionality. Anyway, just some further details in the idagama section. So last time I made some general statements, but there's also some specific details in that. So just if you look at the document back, you'll see those details. But remember these 7 to 35 and 7 to 10. That is, those are two main ones. Remember that. Adhadhatuka Sed Valadehe and the Ekach Upadesha Anudattat. Next time what we'll do is that we only have 5 minutes left. So I don't know, should I start this thing now? I'll do it from next time. Because this one, he's going to start with the Lit Prakriya. Okay, and the Lit Prakriya is going to start. Let me just, you know what, let me make you sutras for that. We'll do it next time now. Is the Lit also start the same way? Take the dhatu bhu, bhu plus Lit. Now the Lit, first of all, we need to find a sutra from 333 to 3315, which will allow us to use this Lit in the Bhavishyati Arthe. Assuming the speaker wants to talk about some future action, we can bring in the pratyaya Lit by Bhavishyati. There must be some sutram in the 3 to 3315. That is the, let's see here, 333 to 3315 and Lit Sheshe. So all miscellaneous meanings in the future. So this is like a default. The Lit is like a default future tense which can be used. So we use 3313, and then you can use being the Lit pratyaya in the future tense, bhavishyati arthe. And then again, when you have to use satasi lulutoho, which we already used today, but this time we'll use the sya, become bhu, sya plus ti. I'll just do one form verbally today. We'll do it next time in detail. So we get bhu plus sya plus tip. Bhu, sya, tip. Shatasi lulutoho, lutoho. The l includes the lit and the lrung, both of them. So when you have the lit pratyaya following or the lrung pratyaya following, we have to bring in the sya. So this will be an apavada for the shap. Because normally kartari shap has to come. But this specifically says if you have the lit or the lrung, then don't bring in the shap, bring in the sya pratyaya. So that also, by the way, the sya and the tas, they did not mention any gana. They didn't say bhuvadi gana bring it, or the adadi gana bring it, or this and that. So that's why in all the ganas, you're going to get this sya, if the lit is there or lrung is there, you're going to get the tas, if the lit is there. So you don't have to, so gana vishesha karyam nasti. There's nothing specific for the gana. So sya, so you got bhu, sya plus tip. Now the idagama has our usual steps. Ardhadhatuka Sed Valadehe pratyahasya is a ardhadhatukam tingshisaratukam ardhadhatukam sheshaha. So because sya was given in 3133, it is dhatoho iti vihitasya, it is coming in dhatu, after dhatu is sakaradi, which is a valadi pratyaha, it can take the idagama. You have to check the dhatu. And again, we have to go to the same karika that we looked at before in 7 to 10, ekach upadesha anudattat. And now he's giving 2 or 3 specific rules which are coming. So look at 727 for next time. Look at 7270, which tells us that any dhatu ending in short ru or the dhatu han takes the idagamaha. So rudhanosye, rudhanosye. And the dhatu gam, look at 7258. So that's on this page. So in with regard to the bhu, sya plus tip, it becomes, takes idagamaha, which is sed dhatu, and becomes bhu isya plus ti. You take the guna by sarva dhatuka adhatuka yoho, becomes bho isya plus ti, become bhavishyati. The ending shattam is by 8359. Adesha pratyayoho shattam. Adesha pratyayoho. Any sakara, either an adesha or pratyaya avayavaha, that can take the murdhanya adesh, that will take the murdhanya adesha. The prior varna is either in or ku. In ku. It should be either in. So we had bhavishya we had. So that E was the in, because in goes from all the way from E up to the higher at lan. So we became bhavishyati. So 8359. We'll see all this next time in detail. 8359 change the sa to a murdhanya sha. So become bhavishyati, and then from the, so see, once you form the form bhavishyati, then the bhavishya is like bhava. Lat lakara, you know, right? So bhavati, bhavata, bhavanti, all that you read. So this, when you form bhavishya, have the same remaining forms as bhavati, etc. So bhavishyati, bhavishyataha, bhavishyanti, bhavishyasi, bhavishyatha, bhavishyatha, bhavishyami, bhavishyava, bhavishyama. So one bhavishya is formed, it is same as the bhavati, etc. Remaining forms, so shesha prakriya is, samanam. It's the same both here and there. Okay, we see it next time. So he's giving the pratyas here. So nothing very special. All this entire thing you should be able to derive already from what we already know. Nothing new. And same thing in the 10th gana, you have to use a nish pratyaya again, same thing. So chora yishyami, gana yishyami. So and lab also, this only sandhi rules, nothing new. So this entire thing you should be able to crank out now. The same rules that we did before. There's nothing new in any of this. Of course, we'll look at these ones down here. Let me give you the number, then we'll stop for today, okay? So this point number 137. The first point for dhatu grah, use sutram 7237. So graholiti dirgha. So the E becomes, idagama becomes dirgha. 7237. The next point, number 2 point, use 7238. Now the next point, the number 3 point, you can use all sandhi rules. Use 63112 for the wordha, and also 8231, 8240. Use sandhi rules, 8441 is chunashtuhu, 8313, the dode lopaha. These are all sandhi rules. So you can use these rules. Dhatu prach, use 8236. Point number 4. Point number 5, use 7449, which we just use anuvritis today, by the way. The sasyar dhatu ke, when we use the tasasti or lopa and all that, that was 7450, which we use today. So next time we'll use 7449. And the last point, use 615859 for this last bit of the book. And that will end the lesson for us. But we'll do it in detail next time. If you want to practice on your own, please look at these, okay? So I'll end the class and we'll stay back for questions. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Vihata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittalayas Sada Bhautame Bho Rama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sasanam Dattalyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Ondameti. Okay, I guess we can stop the recording. Any questions? Anybody?